Planning a kitchen renovation can be a daunting and overwhelming task, but it doesn't need to be. This video is part one of a three-part series where I take the stress and complications out of designing and renovating your next kitchen. Part one is the plan. Either working with a designer or doing this on your own, you'll need to determine the best possible layout for how you need the kitchen to function. And I do stress how you need the kitchen to function. While following all the rules and guidelines will get you a decent kitchen in the end, knowing how you use the space is critical to designing a kitchen that functions for you. You'll want to start by making a list of the things that you love about your current kitchen. Now I know that we're going to renovate this space, maybe completely tear it out, get rid of it, design a whole new kitchen, but I bet there are some areas of your kitchen that you actually do like and that work well for you. It could be as simple as the size of a particular drawer bank, or the prep area in relation to your range, or where you keep your cookie sheets, or your appliance placements. There's all these aspects of your old kitchen that do work. Maybe they just need to be tweaked, but you don't need to get rid of them. So making a list of these things and understanding how your kitchen functions and the way that you use your kitchen now will help you when you're designing your new kitchen. The next part of this is a little bit easier because it's listing out the ways that will make your kitchen function better for you. Things you don't have, things you wish you had or worked better than what they do now. You may want to put together some kind of Pinterest board or a dream board of different things that you want to include in your new kitchen that would make it more accessible or more efficient, or even just cool gadgets that you think you'd like to have. There's nothing wrong with including things in your kitchen that you just think are awesome. Now, once you have this information listed out and it's visualized, you can then begin to design your kitchen. The layout. The things you just listed will help you in designing a kitchen layout that's not so random. All that stuff is really important when you're designing the kitchen because it's a specific place just for you. It's not a one-size-fits-all room. It is a one-size-fits-you room, and it has to be designed that way. Most design programs that professionals use have a feature that will just automatically design a kitchen. So once you put in your measurements, you click a button and the computer just generates a kitchen layout. Now it's just completely randomized and kind of nonsense, but you don't want that to happen to you when you're designing a kitchen. It just wastes time. So the more specific you can be with your designer, with the list of things that you are including in that kitchen, the better you will be at designing and figuring out the best layout for the space. For instance, if you know that you want pot storage directly next to your range, you can include that in this early stage, and then later on worry about symmetry and space issues that might arise. But you have to plug in these things early so that, one, you don't forget about them, and two, you allow space for them in the layout. And most of the time, this stage will be done on a computer, so it's easy to make changes, doesn't take a lot of time, and it doesn't really cost any money. When you're actually designing the kitchen, I think it's a great idea to give yourself some options. Design the kitchen a bunch of different ways to allow you to see the space just from different perspectives. Now, these don't need to be drastically different, though they can be, but they should allow you to see different iterations of the space so you can make an informed decision about where things are going to be placed in your design, how things are going to function in relation to other parts of your kitchen. I usually work with 2 or 3 design layouts so that I can see different options for the space. And this does a couple things. It allows you to see ways of designing your kitchen that just don't work, that you don't like, that you absolutely will not do. And this is good information to know. To know that if I did put the range on this particular wall, it just doesn't work. It's great later on when the range is on this other particular wall and you have peace of mind knowing that this is the best place for the range. We tested it over here, it doesn't work with the design, doesn't allow you to do this, that, or the other thing. And now I'm very confident in this. And 2, it allows you to have confidence in the design that you ultimately end up choosing. And while you're doing this, have the understanding that there's no perfect kitchen design. There's no absolutely perfect way to lay out a kitchen. But there are better ways of designing a kitchen than others. And by going through these iterations and these different ideas, you'll be able to discover that for yourself and for your kitchen. And while this might seem like a waste of time because you already know how you want your kitchen to look or operate or function, I do encourage you to go through this step so that later on down the road, you actually waste less time because of changes that you end up needing to make because you didn't go through this step. Now, you may just know already the exact layout that you want for your kitchen, And that's fine too. Maybe you've seen pictures of it, maybe your particular measurements will fit the dream kitchen layout that you've seen somewhere, then by all means go for that. But you can still make minor tweaks and changes to the types of cabinets and to the different sizes of things so that you can ultimately come up with the best kitchen design for you. And there's no need to rush this step. You're about to spend a ton of money on cabinets, countertop, appliances, fixtures, professional services, so you want to make sure that your plan is as flawless as possible. Now, one aspect of the planning stage that is vital for success is making sure you have accurate measurements. You know the old saying, measure twice, cut once. Well, when it comes to kitchen renovations, you should measure twice and then have someone else confirm those measurements twice to make sure you get an accurate account of the space that you're working with. If there's one thing that can derail a kitchen renovation project is getting wrong measurements from the start and they just go unchecked and nobody knows about it until it's too late when you're installing the cabinets. Believe me, I've been there. Over 20 years of doing this, I've made this mistake more times than I want to admit. It's called human error and it just happens. But it doesn't need to happen to you if you just double check and have someone else double check those measurements. If you're unsure how to measure your kitchen, I have a guide in the description below, so you can grab that. You have your list of things that you need to incorporate into your kitchen. You have all your accurate measurements. It's now time to start designing the space. And since you have accurate measurements, it'll be that much easier to draw your floor plan, either by hand or using a computer app or program. Now, if you're drawing your layout by hand, try to do it to scale. One block on the graph paper is 6 inches, and so you can easily divide up that space in these 6-inch increments, 2 blocks being a foot, half a block being 3 inches. This will make more sense in a minute why you do this. And that way you can get a very accurate depiction of the size and scale of the kitchen and what cabinets will actually fit into that space. If it's not done to scale and you draw a bunch of cabinets in, you might realize that you have more cabinets than you need or less cabinets, and this will ultimately waste time and could be a point of disappointment when you realize, oh, I can't have an island this big with all these things in it because, well, it just doesn't fit. So do things to scale if you can. If you're using a computer, it's automatically to scale, so it's not that big a deal. And any designer who's using a design program, this isn't really a worry. But a lot of people do draw a floor plan with graph paper, and so doing it to scale is a very good idea to keep things organized and accurate so that you can have a real clear depiction of your kitchen layout. The sooner you know your appliance sizes and specs, the better. I never think it's a good idea to pick your appliances out later. Definitely don't pick them out after you already have a kitchen layout or something installed, because now you're stuck with the sizes that you have to fit the appliances in, and that might not be what you want. So the sooner the better when picking out appliances just for their size and their cutout dimensions. This is really important for a fridge, and it's really important for any appliance that has a cutout that needs to be inserted into a cabinet, like a microwave or an oven or numerous amounts of other appliances these days. There is nothing worse than moving your fridge into your new kitchen and realizing it doesn't fit the space. And don't assume that they'll just all fit. They don't. Make sure you have these measurements way before you need them. And during this exercise, it's a great idea to know the size of the small appliances that you use and where they're going to be stored. They take up so much space. Some of them are used daily, some of them are used weekly or monthly, and some of them just never get used. But they all have to go somewhere. Your coffee maker might just live on the countertop. That's cool. Your Instant Pot might live in a pantry, and that's fine. Another small appliance might live in a drawer bank. That's all good and dandy, but you need to know the size of those things so that the drawer bank, the pantry, and the countertop space can all accommodate for those. Yes, it might seem silly to go measuring all your small appliances, but you'll be thankful that you did when you realize, oh, this doesn't fit on top of my countertop, or oh, this doesn't work going inside a drawer. Maybe there's another solution for this. Now, you can't account for everything, and I understand that. There may be a new small appliance someday that just, comes out and whatever, doesn't fit anywhere. I even have small appliances that don't fit in my kitchen. They're in a hall closet back here, and it's just the way it is. But I purchased them after the kitchen was finished, and I never thought about them. Whatever, you have to deal with that later. But as much as you can, figure out those small appliances and those big things in your kitchen that need to be stored and used so that you can accommodate those in your design plan. Honey, why are you measuring the toaster? Well, because we're doing a kitchen renovation. Duh. Now, the question of the day is this. What's your budget? I used to hate asking that question because I didn't want the potential client to think I'm trying to milk them for all that they're worth. But there's price levels of cabinets and design options that don't fit every budget. Now, it's absolutely possible to get a functioning kitchen, but there is a difference between a $5,000 kitchen and a $50,000 kitchen. When the designer knows how much you want to invest into this kitchen renovation, then they can steer you in a direction that fits that budget by selecting cabinets and appliances and accessories and countertops and hardware, instead of just designing you a kitchen that who knows if you can afford or not, and then you get the price tag and you're absolutely shocked. You go down the road and you're like, I can't believe they gave me this price. It's because nobody knew the budget. All this stuff comes together to eventually give you this piece of paper or file on a computer that shows you your finalized kitchen layout. It's everything you wanted. It functions in similar ways to your old kitchen. It has all these new things. It's at the budget that is perfect for you. It looks beautiful. It's just everything you wanted. Now you need to go and shop for cabinets. You need to actually purchase cabinets now. Now, cabinet selection can be done two ways. In tandem with the design project. For instance, when I worked with clients, I had a product to sell. So I'm designing a kitchen with the idea that I'm selling them the product that I sell. However, now I design kitchens for clients and I don't have a product to sell. The design is the product. And if you're using a designer like myself, then you need to go shopping for cabinets, and there's a lot of options out there. And although there's a lot of options out there, there's really only three. There's stock cabinets, there's semi-custom cabinets, and there's custom cabinets. Now, stock cabinets can be ready to assemble, RTA, or pre-built cabinets. You can order them online or at a big box store or some brick and mortar place. Stock cabinets normally come in 3-inch increments, starting at 9 inches, going up to about 36, some maybe more. And some cabinet companies have these in-between sizes of 1.5 inch increments. They usually come in 1 or 2 height sizes with a few different pantry options, corner options, and a few other specialty cabinets. Stock cabinets will have less options in terms of door styles, color options, quality, and different accessories that you may want to add to your space. Semi-custom is very similar. It's still mostly the stock sizes that are available to you with some customization available. And different companies have different options for this. And usually they'll also have a little more variety of the types of cabinets that you can purchase. And custom is basically what it sounds like. It's custom. You can get anything you want pretty much. If you can draw it on a piece of paper, we can make it for you and install it into your home. But at the end of the day, those are your 3 basic choices of cabinets, and your budget will generally steer you in which direction you're going to be choosing. I'd like to be very clear that stock, semi-custom, and custom is not a reflection of cheap or bad quality, little better quality, and expensive, really good quality. It's not that at all. You can get horrible quality and horrible prices at all 3 of these levels. So it does take a little bit of research to know what you're purchasing, because I've seen stock cabinets that were completely junk. I wouldn't purchase them. I wouldn't give them to my enemy. It's just stay away. These shouldn't be cabinets. Don't put them in your kitchen. But I've also seen custom cabinets that were pretty much the same. Just because you put the word custom on something doesn't make them intrinsically better. Find out their construction, what they're made out of. Find out their warranty. Find out what other people who've purchased these cabinets say about them now. If you can go find those people, ask them. They'll tell you. Because at the end of the day, you want to be confident that whatever you're purchasing, you're happy with. You're getting the value out of it that you're spending. Now, if you can, know the cabinet company up front that you want to work with. Maybe you've seen them online, or you have a neighbor or a family member who's used them, and you are already comfortable with using this cabinet company, then this is great to know from the start, because the designer can now use this cabinet company's list of cabinet sizes and accessories and availability of different types of cabinets and plug those into your design in the early design phase. That way, when you get to the part where you need to purchase cabinets, you already know that all of these different sizes and types of cabinets are available with the company that you're using. So you can cover all this in one foul swoop and make it a lot easier for yourself when you're getting into purchasing. So the more information you know earlier on, the better your experience is going to be, the less stressful and overwhelmed you're going to be in making all of these choices. Now, I can't end this video without talking about something very, very important. And that is being aware and understanding that there are going to be issues that arise, and that if you plan for them, they can be a whole lot less stressful when they do come up. Now, I want to guarantee you something. There will be problems. It's just the nature of this business. There's going to be an issue. But that doesn't need to be a big derailing factor for your kitchen project. A lot of issues you can avoid by doing the things I've talked about in this video. Getting accurate measurements, knowing your appliance sizes early, going through different iterations of your kitchen layout, knowing the cabinet company that you want to use. Doing these things first will definitely help you avoid some problems down the road. But there's just some things you can't help, and that's going to happen. Like a delayed delivery, a broken cabinet, you name it, I've seen it. It's amazing the things that can happen in a kitchen renovation. You got to learn to roll with the punches with this because it's just the nature of renovations. So have a little contingency in time and money so that you can accommodate for these things when they arise, and then just keep moving forward. Don't let those things steal your joy, the joy of doing this kitchen renovation that you maybe have dreamed of for, a few years. You've maybe been saving for it, you've been thinking about it, you've been on Pinterest, you've been watching YouTube videos, you are really emotionally invested in this design project, in this kitchen project. You just can't wait to get it done. It's going to make everything so much better for your cooking experience and your home and your family, maybe the resale value. So don't let a few little hiccups destroy that and just steal the joy out of it. Just try to have the most amount of fun in the experience as you can, because it's a pretty cool experience. It may be one of the bigger purchases you make in your life, aside from maybe your home and your car. Renovating your kitchen is a major, major expense. I mean, most kitchens now that I do are more expensive than the first home I purchased. So, it's a major amount of money. Just don't let the little things destroy that for you. Now, I'm not sure if knowing that there's going to be issues makes it any easier when they do come up, but at least you'll be ready for it. I mean, I can't stand when things go wrong. It does throw me off, but I've been doing this long enough now that I know that there's going to be issues, and it's like, oh, okay, well, just another hiccup, let's get over it. So, you'll be in the mix there somewhere as well. Better plan you have at the start, it's only going to make the rest of the process easier. Now, no kitchen design is complete, in my opinion, without a discussion about countertops and lighting. So I'll let you choose your own adventure. There's a video here about lighting and a video here about countertops. They will both be very helpful in making sure that your plan is as flawless as possible. We'll see you on the next one.